What's up, everybody? I just finished the fifth book in the Street Seinors series. This is called Last Chance. We'll start with the cover. I actually like the poison on the front of this book being spilled into like this opened step back cover art, which is pretty cool. There you go. One fun fact I noticed about this book is when I was a kid, I had a few of these, and I remember looking at the front cover of the front of these books have these like weird senior like quotes and yearbook things or whatever. And as the books progress, more people die or whatever. And there's like these stamps over them. And when I was a kid, I could have swore they said deceased, but this one here it says rest in peace. And it's weird because the person that is in this book that died in book 3, not book 4, and book 4 didn't even have this, so it's kind of weird. And it feels like they're just like bringing more characters in to die or whatever, so it's kind of weird. Anyway, the story starts off with this girl named Mary. She is talking to her guidance counselor about her grades, and she turns out she's failing some classes or whatever, and she got in trouble for stealing at a local mall. Her friend Stacy invites her to go to the mall after school or whatever, and she does, and she's just hoping, she doesn't get caught or whatever. And she ends up running into this guy, and the guy sees her, and he takes off, like, running the other way, which was weird. I don't even think this was explained, like, at all. Well, it was, but it was stupid. This book was bad, by the way, so this is not going to be a positive review. I'll go ahead and tell you that now. Okay, so this happens, and the next day she has to go talk to her teacher named Mr. Morley. Mr. Morley is this guy that constantly drinks coffee and is writing in this little notebook thing. And he's talking to her, and he accidentally drops this envelope, and he leaves, and Mary pulls the envelope out, and it's like the answers to this test. So she steals it, right? She already got caught stealing one time. What's one more? Whatever. So the next day they take a test, and she passes it, or she thinks she passes it. Everybody else gets their grades. Hers, I don't remember if it actually says, hey, see me after class, or the teacher comes up to her and says, see me after class. I don't remember. But anyway, she sees him after class. Turns out that he saw her steal the paper, and now he's just going to blackmail her to get her to do weird stuff. And this was kind of an interesting concept. I was like, okay, cool. And on the back of the book, it even promises, murder. And I kind of pictured, there's an episode of The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror where they call it, crisscross, where Bart kills the teacher, Lisa's teacher, and Lisa kills Bart's teacher. And I thought it was going to be something like that. Like, it was going to be really cool. No, the first thing he wants her to do is steal a jacket from this teacher that borrowed his jacket a long time ago. This sounds like I'm making it up, but I swear that's what it's about. So, 40 pages later, she gets caught stealing a jacket, something like that. He asks her to... she gets caught, and then the teacher asks, what are you doing? And she blames Mr. Morley. So, this puts her in a deeper hole, and now he says, now you're going to have to do something else for me. He says, I want you to go to this teacher and steal these letters that have like a bunch of complaints written about him. She goes in, tries to steal those. I think she gets caught. I don't remember. It's like the second time she goes and steals these letters. These letters have like information about Mr. Morley, and what it says about him is that he actually killed 2 students at the school. I know what you're thinking. This can't be that bad, but this happens on page 90. So the first 80 pages of this book is just trying to steal jackets and trying to steal letters. And that's it. We learned that this guy that she ran into at the store, or at the mall, is named Rob, and he's staying with Mr. Morley. And Mr. Morley is watching over him, or he's staying at his house and doing some handyman stuff or whatever. Yeah. And that's basically what this book is about. It's just blackmail stuff, and it's very slow. It's very boring. I did not like it. I would have kind of forgave this book a little bit for being boring if the ending didn't happen. The ending was terrible. This is one of the worst endings I've read in any of these books. It absolutely sucked. I do want to point out that the last book that I read in the series I thought was ghostwritten. There are some scenes. This book, without a doubt, was ghostwritten. I don't care. Stein himself said he wrote it. I'd probably believe Stein himself if he said he wrote it. But there's multiple scenes in this book that did not feel like Stein. Um, there's a scene at the very beginning where she describes Stacy, who is an African American woman, in a very weird way. I'm not even going to say it because it's terrible. And there is also some scenes where, like, I don't know how to explain this, but like, they'll be like an hour later, they're walking down the street or something like that, and it's just like it doesn't say, and like I don't know, it's written weird. I don't know how to explain that. And there's also scenes where Mary gets on a bus, like a public transportation bus. This is Fear Street. They don't have buses. I mean, there's in all the original books they didn't have a bus. I mean, so far I haven't read all of them. I read most of them. So yeah, and also one thing that really really bothered me was the lack of description for Fear Street itself. I know it sounds petty, but it was stupid. She's going down Fear Street, and Fear Street only is brought up like twice in this book. And when they're going down the street, she describes it as being spooky. Like, that's literally it. Like, spooky with rundown houses and cracks along the sidewalks. That's literally the description of Fear Street. In fact, the teacher that this guy lives on, the street that this teacher lives on is called like Bus Lane or something like. It's some weird thing that, like, it's a road that we've never even heard. All the Fear Street books I've ever read, never heard of this road. So this road is magically here. Yeah, I don't know. It really bothers me if this is ghost written and the person that ghost wrote it didn't even really care to bother about anything to do with the Fear Street lore or anything. This was terrible. This is easily my least favorite Fear Street Seniors book so far. The only highlight I will give this book is the amount of blackmailing things that Mr. Morley puts her through gets really worse. Like, so towards the end, he tells her that he wants her to break in to his sister's house and steal her kids because his sister keeps their kids by themselves and he wants to teach her a lesson. And she goes to steal the kids and carries them to this rundown house. I know this sounds ridiculous. This doesn't sound anything like Fear Street. They go to this rundown house and she tells him, like, so your Uncle Donald doesn't do this or do that. And they're like, we don't have an Uncle Donald. And so these kids, this isn't even the right kids. And I did think that was a little funny because it's like, dude, that's messed up. But that did save this book. Once it got to the end, I knew this book was going to be bad on page like 90 because nothing happened. I was at least going to give it a 2 though, when that little scene with the kids happened. But this gets a 1. This is a 1 out of 5 stars. I don't recommend this one. This is actually a pretty easy one to get your hands on. Last time I checked anyway. But yeah, this is easily bad. If you guys read this and you thought it was good, please let me know why and what'd you like about it. I did not like this book. Yeah, so 1 out of 5 stars for me. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought. Yeah, that's it for me, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Let me know what you guys are thankful for in the comments below. I'm thankful for family, friends, and books, and God. So, yeah. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Bye.